From my earliest days, I had been captivated by the enigmatic legends of Pumpkinhead, the elusive and eerie entity that had long cast its shadow over our quaint little town. The lore surrounding this phantom spoke of its origins in a malevolent curse, a vengeful spectre summoned by those thirsting for retribution. Yet, despite the persistent whispers of this chilling narrative, I had always dismissed it as mere folklore, the stuff of dreams and nightmares. That is, until the fateful arrival of an autumn night that would etch itself into the annals of my memory. The wind, bearing whispered promises of hidden truths, lured me toward an abandoned farmhouse. Bathed in the ethereal glow of the full moon, this decaying edifice stood as a forlorn sentinel, its windows resembling empty, soulless eyes that gazed into the darkness. Summoning my courage, I ventured forth, pushing open the creaking door. A gust of cold air, laden with centuries-old secrets, greeted me, sending a cascade of shivers down my spine. Inside, within the dimly lit corridor, a serendipitous discovery awaited me. An ancient, dust-covered journal, its pages filled with cryptic and foreboding incantations, lay hidden in the shadows, waiting to unfurl its tale of darkness and mystique. As I immersed myself further into the enigmatic pages of the journal, I unwittingly unveiled a chilling revelation. Hidden within its cryptic passages were the ominous instructions for a ritual that had the power to summon Pumpkinhead, the very embodiment of vengeance itself. The words of the incantation etched themselves into my consciousness, a malevolent whisper that clung to my every thought. My insatiable curiosity and an overpowering obsession led me to venture deep into the ominous heart of the nearby forest, a place twisted and eerie, seemingly tailor-made to put the terrifying legend to the ultimate test. In the midst of gnarled, ancient trees and serenaded by the unsettling cries of nocturnal creatures, I found myself meticulously preparing to undertake this forbidden ritual, oblivious to the impenetrable darkness that was poised to be unleashed. The air grew thick with anticipation, and the moonlight cast an eerie, otherworldly glow over my endeavor. With each step I took, the boundary between the known and the supernatural blurred, and I embarked on a treacherous path from which there might be no return. My every heartbeat echoed with uncertainty, as I stood on the precipice of a perilous journey into the realm of the unknown. The ritual commenced with an otherworldly ballet of shadows. The flames of the candles danced and wove eerie, ever-shifting silhouettes on the gnarled tree trunks that surrounded me. The forest seemed to hold its breath as I whispered the ancient incantation, and an icy chill swept through the woods, making the very air turn hostile. In that surreal moment, I teetered on the edge of terror and awe, my heart racing like a wild stallion. Beneath my feet, the ground quivered as if the earth itself shuddered in anticipation. From the unfathomable depths, a monstrous figure slowly clawed its way into existence. Its form was grotesque, a horrifying fusion of human and demon, its eyes blazing with malevolence. It was as if the abyss had vomited forth a nightmare-made flesh, and my pulse quickened with a fear I had never known. It dawned upon me, in the midst of this chilling spectacle, that my insatiable curiosity had inadvertently set in motion a nightmarish chain of events. I had unleashed an ancient and terrible power that could not be undone. The grotesque entity, now fully formed, loomed ominously before me, an embodiment of my ill-fated curiosity, a living consequence of my reckless actions. The forest, once serene and familiar, had transformed into a theater of the bizarre, and I was the unwilling protagonist in a story that defied reason and logic. As the malevolent creature fixed its burning gaze upon me, I knew that there was no turning back. My world had irrevocably shifted into the realm of the unimaginable, and I was left to grapple with the consequences of my ill-advised quest for forbidden knowledge. Pumpkinhead, the very embodiment of vengeance itself, emerged from the earth, rising like a sentinel of retribution, and advanced towards me with an eerie and unnatural grace. It was a moment etched into the depths of my memory with an indelible ink of fear, an encounter that laid bare the darkest corners of my soul before its malevolent, glowing eyes. Our gaze locked in a chilling, inescapable connection as if the creature could peer deep into my very essence, plumbing the depths of my guilt and remorse. In that moment, I felt a profound terror that chilled me to my core, a terror that was not born of this world but seemed to have transcended the boundaries of life and death. It was as though my past sins, my darkest secrets, and my most regrettable actions were cast in stark relief for Pumpkinhead to see. Suddenly, with a terrible and ear-piercing howl that seemed to emanate from the bowels of the earth, Pumpkinhead initiated its relentless pursuit. Its hulking form moved with a deceptive agility, contrasting sharply with its grotesque appearance. Its footfalls reverberated through the still night like the drums of doom, each step echoing with a resonance that sent shivers down my spine. I found myself thrust into a harrowing race for my very existence, the pulse of terror driving my every movement as I fled through the twisted, gnarled forest. My heart pounded within my chest, a relentless drumbeat that accompanied me as I darted through the labyrinthine woods, branches tearing at my clothes and undergrowth snagging at my feet. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves, mingling with the acrid stench of fear that seemed to cling to me like a second skin. It was a frantic and futile effort to escape the inexorable force that was Pumpkinhead, a force driven by vengeance and ancient malevolence. The relentless pursuit of this avenging monstrosity bore down upon me like a curse born of my own foolishness, of my audacity to meddle with forces far beyond the grasp of human comprehension. In that dark and fateful moment, I realized the gravity of my transgressions, my arrogance in seeking to harness the supernatural for my own desires. Pumpkinhead was a manifestation of cosmic retribution, an embodiment of all the anger, resentment, and vengeance I had ever inspired. With every stride it took, it drew closer, and its ghastly talons reached out hungrily for my very soul. I could feel the malevolence seeping from its very pores, its wrath manifesting in a relentless determination to exact its terrible vengeance upon me. In my panicked flight, I had become the prey, and Pumpkinhead, the relentless predator, was the instrument of my torment, meting out punishment for my transgressions with ruthless efficiency. As I sprinted through the tangled, nightmarish undergrowth, with the curse of Pumpkinhead bearing down on me, I couldn't escape the cruel irony that I had become a victim of my own insatiable desire for power, my arrogance, and my insensitivity to the ancient and malevolent forces that lurked in the shadows. In my quest to manipulate the supernatural, I had inadvertently unleashed a terror that would haunt me until the end of my days. My frantic flight through the forest led me to a cliff, with nowhere left to run. Pumpkinhead's sinister form loomed closer, its skeletal fingers outstretched. In my final moments, the curse's origins became painfully clear. As Pumpkinhead's grip closed around me, I realized it was the embodiment of my own vengeance, a reflection of my darkest desires. My life flashed before my eyes, a montage of my own wrongdoing, and then, darkness. In that instant, I became a part of the legend, my fate forever entwined with Pumpkinhead's. Pumpkinhead, the embodiment of my own vengeful desires, had returned. My quest for curiosity had become my own undoing, a chilling reminder of the depths of human darkness. The legend was not just a story, it was a curse, a cycle of revenge that could never be broken. As the wind whispered secrets of the legend to the world, I remained trapped in a nightmare, a silent specter haunting the very forest where it all began. And so, the legend of Pumpkinhead continued, a chilling tale that would haunt the minds of those who dared to summon it.